if I would have said something like, my parents tell me to do something, and I'm like, why? I would have been knocked into next Tuesday. Like, would have been a whole other week before I saw the rest of my family. Like, I would never dare. And even now, I still don't like. And like, my parents are like, I think they just like respect and honor that we're all adults now, and that we're like, we have our own lives, we're independent and stuff like that. So it never has to get to that point. Like, I don't ever like disagree or argue with my mom or anything like that, or my dad for that matter. But it's just like, you know, it'd be little stuff.
You weren't allowed to. I think that's also, I know we talk about this often too, but I think that's also, while it is a generational thing, I think it's also cultural, and I think it's also really deeply rooted in like religion.
Welcome to Ardor, the podcast. The podcast for women who are relentless and insatiable in the pursuit of more. I'm your host, Alex Reed, and joining me is my co-host, Jamia Daniels. We're excited to be creating a community of like-minded women who are committed to personal and professional growth. Each episode, we'll be discussing topics that are important to us, from career advancement to self-care and just everything in between. We'll be sharing our own experiences, inviting guest experts, and giving you actionable tips to help you take your life to the next level. So join us on this journey as we strive to be the best version of ourselves and passionate about ourselves as we achieve our goals. This podcast is produced by Aaron Daniels Music, LLC. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ardor, the podcast.
Woo-woo.
Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about family dynamics and how culture plays a big part in that. And to help us with this week's episode, we are utilizing the help of culture tags.
Culture tags.
Culture tags are really cool.
But before we get into that, how you doing? How you doing, Alex?
I'm good, Jam. Today's been an interesting day. I feel like this week's been kind of weird. Like, as you know, this was like my first, my dad's first birthday with him not being here. So that was kind of like interesting. That hit me differently.
Yeah.
Speaking of family dynamics. What else is going on? I think that was good. Business is good.
Yeah.
Real estate world's good. We've got some amazing women joining the intensive, and that is really, really exciting.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, for choosing you.
Period.
You, Jam.
Oh, me. Yeah. I'm in there too. For sure.
Good. How are you? How's this week? Your daddy's here.
Yeah, my dad. Well, he's gone. Yeah.
Oh, JK.
He left, but he's coming back. Hopefully.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I think like we were talking about before, that seasonal depression is really. She's showing up and she's showing out.
Oh my God, it's been so insane because I couldn't figure out. I was like, what is wrong with me? I mean, outside of like grief.
Oh, for sure.
But it's been like, so Colorado weather. So if you're not local to Colorado and you're listening to this, Colorado weather is typically great because it'll snow one day and like the next day, like by 4:00.
Yeah.
Sun is shining, the snow's melted. Like we're great. Streets are dry, but no.
Yeah, it's a bit chaotic actually.
But now it's like snow is like stuck on the grass. It's like on the driveway still. It's in the neighborhood streets. I feel like I'm four-wheeling just to go down my neighborhood street.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just like gloomy, and it's got me like giving me the bluesies.
For sure. We've definitely been like Tokyo drifting for a good like 3 weeks.
Okay. Story time.
Okay.
This morning, I almost died. I was driving down, Chambers or whatever. And like I kind of like slid a little bit. I forgot to put my little 4-wheel like snow drive thing on, and I was driving, and like one of my wheels kind of like slid, or I guess one of them. I guess that's two. So half of my car kind of like slid off the road a little bit, like. So, like I was like half on road, like half kind of like off the side of like the car,
Right.
And it was like, woo, like fish. It was so bad.
Oh my gosh.
And like, I'm surprised it didn't hit anyone. One.
Yeah.
Two, after it was over, I just got back on the road and was like, all right.
Period. Because that's the two-way street.
Yes, exactly.
And there were people coming the opposite way.
And I was like fishtailing left and right. It was a lot. But
you got touched by an angel.
But I'm here.
Yeah, you got touched by an angel. Somebody had you, because they really are crazy out here in these streets. And I seen something on Facebook, and they said, I hope y'all wipe y'all ass better than y'all plowing these streets, because these streets really is they real ridiculous out here. And because at this point, what are y'all getting paid for?
I know. And like, what are the chemicals doing?
Nothing.
Like,
and you know what? other thing.
See?
Let me tell you something else. I was talking to a friend and she told me, because I was saying like, we're trying to figure out how to get rich, right? Because, you know, that's the
Every
goal.
day.
And we were talking about things that we could figure out, or like what is a need that people need. And I was like, I always thought about something like, what if we could put some kind of salt or special something in tires so that it melts snow like as you're driving, so that you're not like sliding and stuff. And somebody told me that somebody did figure out how to make solar powered streets, so like heated streets, so they could solve this problem.
Are you going to pay those taxes?
Here's the thing. See, what I will not be doing is paying those taxes at this
Get somebody
moment.
else to do it.
But when I get wealthy enough and I'm financially whole, where money is not an issue for me personally, I'm fine with it, because I'd rather do that. If I am forced to stay in Colorado, I'm gonna be safe out here.
Okay, touche.
And all those solar streets could like light up a whole city. But the government,
But you know what? When you think about it, like, sun all the time, and especially for Colorado being 300 days of sunshine.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, in real estate world, guys, when people have solar panels, almost 9 times out of 10, it's always a deal breaker.
To keep them?
If they're not paid off,
Oh yeah.
because people have to be able to qualify not only for the mortgage, but qualify to take over those lease payments for the solar panels for people that get solar panels and then decide they want to sell their house like a year later, and then like, oh well, there's like a $80,000 like, you know.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's good to know now with our solar panels, Alex. Appreciate that.
But that's different because you're required to do them, so you guys are fine. You guys lease the power from the builder, kind of thing.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
you guys,
cool.
that's different. That's
Because
totally
because I was about to say, we have our solar panels on our little roof, and we're all kikiing when we're signing papers like, oh, solar panels, that's so cool.
No, I mean,
You're like,
I mean,
no,
it's good,
deal breaker. Like,
but a lot of
super
times
cute,
people
super
will
cool.
literally pay like $90,000 to get
That's a
solar
lot.
panels like added, and they and that's.
I get that though. I get that, and I'm not gonna lie to you. We moved in last May, almost June, I think, right? And we still ain't used them solar panels. I don't think they kicked in yet. They said it was gonna take a little bit, but I
Usually
don't know
it
if
takes
they
like a
kicked
year
in.
because you have to bank up enough power to make it like work. But after this little season of like cloudy days,
Because I'm just paying them for them to sit there. I don't
that's
like
what
that.
it is.
I don't like that at all.
That's okay. That's what you're doing though.
Well, anyway. Well, I'm proud of you for getting through this week.
Thanks, I'm
I know
proud
it
of
was
you.
a rough one.
love
I was
you.
going to
Thank
bring you
you.
some sugar cookies, the ones with that, like, you know, like the pumpkin where that has little...
The ones that everybody else hates.
Yeah.
I love them.
I know. I was going to bring one, then I forgot. So, sorry.
okay, it's
I felt
okay.
like a real bad friend.
We still
but
there's no love lost.
I love that.
Just sugar cookies lost.
You know?
Speaking of sugar cookies, did we ever check to see what the crumble cookies were this week?
I absolutely did. I absolutely did. And I can tell you them off dunk because I just looked at them.
Okay, bet, go.
They got double chocolate chip with white chocolate chip white chocolate chips, right? They got blueberry muffin, bro.
Okay, is there like an icing on it?
It's like, you know how the cornbread cookie
Like
got
a
the
drizzle?
butter?
Oh.
Got a glaze. It's got a glaze.
Okay. Keep going.
They've got churro.
Churros, that's classic. Tried and true. Excellent cookie. Top notch. Keep
And then they
going.
have key lime pie. I don't really mess with key lime pie like that.
Okay, so
but-
key lime pie is a new thing for me,
Okay.
and it's good.
Okay.
But like, I don't know if I gotta pull up the pictures because
Go for it.
I'm a visual learner.
I feel you there.
So I need to see them.
I have a ritual when it comes to the crumble cookie flavors. I always look on like a Monday and I have to go to the Facebook page and I look at the video play and then I look at the name of the flavors after the fact. It has to be in that order.
Okay.
Specifically. And
It's not-
also
it's
I feel
giving
like
OCD?
very much so. And that's fine.
It's okay.
I've accepted
I'm
it.
here for it.
Also, I feel as though key lime pie is very much a 35 and up kind of flavor, if you ask me. Because most people,
I don't know if I should be offended or not.
You're not.
I mean, I'm not 35
You said it was
yet,
okay.
But like,
You said it was okay. You didn't say,
correct.
wow, I'm loving key lime pie. I live for key
my
lime
grandma
pie.
does love key lime pie. I love you, grandma. My
And
grandma's birthday's this month, guys.
We love you, girl. But are we 35 and up, grandma?
Absolutely not. I mean, she is. But she living life.
She's
Guys,
living her
one of
dream.
my grandma's favorite songs, real talk, since we're talking about family too,
Yeah.
is Bodak Yellow.
Is
by
it
Cardi
really?
B. Loves that song.
Next time I see her, I'm going to start singing it.
And she loves Cardi B. Like, loves
Does
Cardi
she
B.
really?
Yeah, she loves
Honestly, I can
Cardi
see
B.
that.
She just, and I don't know. I can see it, but I'm like, what's drawing in her? But you know, actually, no. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it's because I think Cardi doesn't care.
Yeah.
And she's going to say what she's going to say.
Yeah.
And that's how she lives her life.
And you know what? Y'all blame me for Leighton, but I think it's your grandma.
A little bit.
I think it's
But it's
mostly
still
her.
you. Guys, when Leighton was in utero, Jamia used to sing to my belly sweet lullabies.
I did.
But the lullaby was...
Nuck if you buck.
It was nuck if you buck.
I said we knocking and bucking and ready to fight.
And Layton's always ready to fight.
Yeah, she is.
Always. She's just...
What a precious little piece of sunshine, that gal. And you know what? Sarah would always be like, we'd always be like, oh my gosh, Layton's such a menace. She's so bad, blah, blah, blah. She's like, she's doing evil stuff, all this other stuff. And Sarah's always like, oh, she's such an angel. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But my niece, the way my niece the other day was acting a ass, bro, at the freaking bowling alley.
She had to do what she had to do.
I was like, Josie, you are literally being a devil child, and you are the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh, she's such an angel. She's so perfect. I gotta show you. I told you, she is literally the most perfect little baby. Mm-hmm. And she gets I was watching her last week, and she just gets a kick out of people choking. That's her thing. So like I'll act like I'm choking.
Going dark.
It is. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, and I'm like play dead, and she cracks up laughing. She just cracks up. She really loves other people's demise. I know. We gotta watch her. We gotta watch her.
I don't know if it's like these COVID kids or something, and it's just they're hitting a little differently these days.
They are.
And like, I joke around with my husband all the time because I really wanted Layton to be Jigsaw for Halloween. You know, like from Saw, like with the little like white face and little tricycle and like
she's got the hair for it.
Exactly. Yeah. She has like, you know, Sideshow Bob crossed with like some like Bob Ross vibes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. And I thought it'd be so cute for her to be Jigsaw, but he shut it down. I was like, well, great, you're a dream killer. But
of course,
because my kid, the way she rides that tricycle, it gives me serial killer vibes.
Honestly, I agree. Yeah. I very much, and I couldn't put my finger on it because one day she was just riding around and I was like, this reminds me of something unsettling.
And I couldn't figure out serial killer vibes.
Very much giving I want to play game. And that's what she was doing. And she was running around, Mommy, I'll play.
See? Because do you want to play a game?
That's exactly what she is. Yeah. I imagine her walking into your room at 3 a.m. on her tricycle and all you hear is,
that's terrifying. But okay, from a parenting perspective, just so you guys know, Layton just figured out that she could come out of her room when she wakes up.
That sucks for you, man.
It's horrible. So she now will like literally come to my bedside and like slap the mess out of me.
Stop that.
And like, Mommy! And I'm like,
stop that.
Yeah. So, guys, you should not ever hit your kids. But I'm scared that one day, not hit your kids. You know what I'm saying?
We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that.
But I'm scared that one day I'm gonna wake up and like it'll be a natural reflex to like swing at her.
For sure, yeah.
I'm terrified of that.
I get that.
So I really try to make sure that I wake up before.
Just so you can avoid that.
Just so I can avoid the possibility of swinging on my 3-year-old.
Poor thing. Because she knows better, but she doesn't know better. But also I have like really bad reflexes too.
See?
Because like one time, Sarah, my sister, she literally, I think she tried to hit my butt or something. And I turned around and I punched her in the gut.
Wow.
And I was just like...
You brought this on yourself.
Yeah, you can't just be putting your hands on me like that. And I did that with my dance coach in my senior year. Because we were walking outside, she slapped me on the butt, and I turned around and punched her right in the chest.
Things happen.
It's like, I am so
Things
sorry.
happen, Jamia, and it sounds like it was a situation of, you know,
it was about
reaping and sowing.
That's what it sounded like.
Sowing and reaping.
Because they were sowing seed.
Hale.
And I was reaping harvest.
See?
Okay, because
that was all you were doing.
Period.
That's
and
how
it just is what it is. Because I do have a clear boundary about my bubble, and I feel like I communicate that well.
I think you do.
I think I do.
Like, because you're not really like a hugger.
I'm not a hugger. Mm-mm. I am not a hugger. I am not a hugger. I am only a hugger with people I'm like. I was trying to think of people.
You're like, you can't be your husband?
With him, yes. I am obsessed with him. I want to be inside his skin most of the time. And then, of course, like my nieces and my nephew and then like my brothers and sisters and stuff. But anybody else, please do not touch me. Like, I am a happy handshaker.
But your nieces and nephews are... They're about babies. That Aunt Jam life. Because that's what I called you last night. It was because of Layton was like, I go Aunt Jam's house.
Oh,
and I was like, no. And I don't know if she thinks you're going to like rescue her from my bedtime or something. Because now that I think about it, anytime she wants to like talk to you or go to your house, It'd be close to bedtime.
Yeah, she's probably trying to hear that lullaby that Aaron made, that ugly song.
The ugly song. She's so mean.
She is. I love her.
But I do want to come back to, since I'll talk about hitting kids, were you whooped as a child?
I 1,000. My parents tore me up as a kid. And let me tell you something else. Ooh. My other niece, I ain't gonna say names because I really should be trying to cover these children. But my other niece, you right. She was lying about something. So she's on punishment because she was like, she came up with this consistent lie. And one thing we don't play about is like lying. Like that's just one thing we just don't. We can't do the lying. And me growing up, personally, my daddy, he's a preacher. So he would be, one thing I remember vividly is him being in the pulpit and he's like, liars go straight to hell. You don't even get to see God. You don't get to plead your case, nothing. You go straight to hell. That has always stuck with me.
But do you believe in hell? Now as an adult?
I do.
Okay, keep going. I'm just curious.
We'll get into that too.
Another conversation.
That's a whole nother thing. But I'm just like, so it's always been like in my mind that I just don't like lying. So now it's not even about the belief of what happens when you lie, but it's just, for me personally, I don't lie. I don't like to lie. And then other people it just pisses me off. It really makes me mad. And like, even with like her being a kid, it's like an issue now. Like I'm not gonna say she's a liar because I don't want to I don't put that label on her right now, but
labels.
But she be lying. And so she's in trouble and stuff. And when I lied when I was a kid, my dad tore me up as a kid.
Was it your dad? Was it always your dad or was it your mom and your dad?
That's a complicated dynamic, the both of them, because my dad, we got whooped more at my dad's house than we did at my mom's house. And that's a whole nother story. I can't really, that's like
part 17. Got it.
Sure. Digging into the traumas of that. But I got tore up for that kind of stuff. But then when I told my dad about when my niece did or whatever, he just like sat her on his lap and he was like, hey, you know what happens when you lie. You can't be lying to people, blah, 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 blah. Papa loves you. And then just let her be. I was like, you lucky. Because that wouldn't have been me when I was a kid.
No, I'm telling you, grandparents, granted, I'm not gonna lie, I'm obsessed with my grandmother, right? Like, I'm obsessed with her. Like, she's probably one of my favorite humans to walk this earth. I love you. I love you, Grandma. But the way my mom treats my children versus the way that she treated me, even my dog that is about to, like, if y'all hear that, I'm sorry. He's always wants to, like, chew on the loudest things. But my mom, like, I'll be telling her things, like, that happened with me and the girls, or whatever, and she's like, well, Alex, like, what did you do? And I'm like,
I did nothing but give them a roof over their heads,
food in their mouth, clothing on their back, emotional support,
literally,
like, all of the things. The little heifers went to Disneyland for Christmas and still had a great Christmas.
Aria's been to France.
Yes, Aria's been to France. Literally, Aria was 5, 6 years old, walking around Paris buying stuff.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't want to hear, like, well, Alex, what did you do? Provide them a stellar freaking childhood.
Man.
That's what we're doing, right?
It's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
I'm just saying, but she is very much, or even the other day, I sent her a video of Leighton asking me for one more episode, just one more episode before she goes to bed. And I was like, no more episodes. And she's like literally in my face, like literally like inches away from my freaking face, talking about, Mommy, one more episode. I'll show you the video. Yeah. One more episode. And my mom was like, well, why don't you give her one more episode? I'm like, in the video, I clearly say, Leighton, you've already had several more episodes. No more episodes. You got to go night-night. Well, you could have at least given her just one more episode.
Listen here, ma'am.
If I was, she would have been like, ask me for one more episode one more time and see if I don't knock your block off.
Exactly.
Or see, not even that. My mom was the queen of not necessarily, like, my mom never really whooped us. Like,
okay.
My mom was the parent that, like, we were smart enough, I think, to, like, get lippy or talk back or whatever from a distance. Yeah. And I think she knew that we had peeped game on that wisdom. Yes, it was wisdom. My mom would throw whatever she could reach. Like, it didn't matter if it was a shoe, if it was a candle holder, a coaster, and she would throw. So that's why I can, like, I'm quick with it, you know? Like, I've had to dodge.
You got the reflexes ready.
So, like, it blows my mind that she's so into, like, gentle parenting.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm not, like, I'm like, I believe, like, my kids aren't children that, like, I feel, I parent far differently than I was parented.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to, like, discipline, right? I'm not like a crunchy mom and gentle parenting.
Yeah.
But I do believe that my kids respond differently to different things. Like
For
Aria, who's my oldest, I literally could look at her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's broken.
Yeah.
She's crying. She's like...
She responds to disappointment, for sure.
Exactly. If I'm like, I'm just disappointed in you. Even like last night.
Yeah.
She's grounded and... She said, "Can we talk about my grounding and like when I can get off?" I said, "Like I'll not right now. We'll talk about it with your dad." Blah blah blah. Literally 5 minutes later in the car, "Mommy," I'm like, "Here we go." "Yes, honey. Do you love me?"
Stop. You stop that right now.
Are you kidding me?
No, she didn't.
I mean, I didn't say, "Are you kidding me?" because I'm trying to honor her feelings.
Love that for you.
But really, are you kidding me?
Oh
and I was like, "All right, what makes you think that I don't love you?" Well, I mean, like, since I'm grounded, that is love, first of all.
Honestly.
I'm disciplining you.
Yeah.
Because you didn't hold your end of the bargain. Like,
yeah.
You know what you're supposed to do. And so, like, you don't get to disrespect me
mm-hmm.
and still have all the things. So, this is why you don't have a television in your room. This is why you don't have your cell phone. Like, this is why.
Yeah.
But I do, before we wrap up today, and I think we'll... Make sure you're following us on social media because we're going to post the rest of us chatting about culture tags a little bit with these questions on social media. But until then, I am going to do a little bit of culture tagging with Jamia. So for those that are watching the podcast or video cast, you'll be able to see the letters here. And then for those that are listening, I'm going to tell you what they are. This is in regard to family and friends. So the letters are YGMM. So I'm going to give you guys a second before Jamia guesses to see if you know what a saying or an expression could be that is YGMM. And this has to do with family and friends. Jamia, go.
You got me messed up. Oh, never mind.
Girl, there ain't no you.
You're right.
But she was confident. Keep going. Try it again.
I was really confident about that. Wow.
She said, like, you got me messed up.
I was coming in hot with that.
You did. There was no you.
Wow. Oh, you got McDonald's money.
You got McDonald's money.
That's
that is correct.
Mm-hmm.
My mom always said that. But my mom always said, you got McDonald's money. I'm like, what is McDonald's?
Love that.
But
my parents always just said we got food at home. We had no food at home. We had ice. We barely had ice.
We had ice.
We had no ice maker. We had the ice trays.
Oh, and then if somebody was negligent.
Dang.
Okay, another one for family and friends. You guys, video cast, you can see what the letters are.
Try to be honorable and like not look at the answers on the back.
Don't do it. Be respectful. It is TTCOTF. TTCOTF. What is that, Jamia?
This, that.
Family and friends. So think parenting.
Parenting.
This is something that while you got home from school, right, and your mama called you to make sure you got home all right, and she told you to do something before she got home.
Take that chicken out the freezer.
Correct. Good job. Take the chicken out the freezer. And then you'd always forget.
Sure
and
did.
then when you hear the garage go up
You
or
start
something.
putting hot water over it.
Yeah. And then she'd be like, why isn't chicken thought? I don't know. I don't know.
That must be special chicken. I have no idea.
Okay. Next one. Ooh, my mom said this all the time. Family and friends again. This is... Oh, here, for the video, folks, you can see what this is. Okay. It is IB. This is long. IBYITWAITYO. Whew, this is a long one.
Yeah.
This was, okay, I'm going to give you a hint. This one was like a threat.
Okay.
When, like, you called yourself talking back, and they had to, like, remind you who they were. Come on, Jam Jam.
I bet.
No. Okay. I is right. Here, so everyone can see it still too.
I believe.
Nope.
The
last word is out.
I brought you into this world and I can take you out.
That is correct.
I will take you out.
My mom said that to me all the time. I'm like, but my logical self, I was like, then you go to prison. Like, see, why would you do that?
This is why Aria is the way she is. And that's is. She gets that from you. And you be talking about
because it doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay, so to prove a point, you're going to take me out of this world. But that means you're going to prison. And that means now you can't be a parent to my siblings. That's real smart.
Alex, Aria.
I know.
Read.
That's why Aria's probably going to be
You're Aria Senior is exactly what you are, actually.
This is another parenting, like threat.
Okay.
And this one is for everyone to see. You can see it here for those in the video. And then I'll say the letters, and it's DIASWH. And it's more of a threat.
Jamia,
I'm so disappointed in you today.
But when you give me the hints and stuff, then I be getting it.
Okay. Do is the first word.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Do.
There. That was a hint.
You
just got told not to do something, and your mama was like,
do it and see what happens.
Yes, good job.
Do it and see what happens. That's what it is. You gotta grit your teeth for a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do one more.
Okay. And then I gotta do you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well then you take these two because I don't know what they are.
Okay.
I just grabbed it. Okay, this one, again, family and friends, and then it's CYT. CYT.
I wanna love you.
That's PYT. Getting young.
I wanted to say colored young thing, so I put the C. I'm just
giving
joking.
racist.
It was kind of giving racist. Sorry. Okay. CYT. What was it again? What was the hint?
CYT. Again, this is coming from a parent.
Okay.
When I say this to Aria all the time. This is what you got grounded for last. When she was like, bye. And I was like,
check your tone.
Check your tone.
Check your tone.
Check your tone.
Unless you're bringing checks in, you're going to check your tone.
I feel like my mom, because you know what I be saying to my kids? I pay the cost to be the boss.
Period. I know that's right, because you really do be paying the cost to be the boss.
Look at God.
Okay, so this one is AITKADKTF. Y'all need a pen and a paper if you're going to guess these.
I'm saying, you shouldn't be driving and playing with this.
Oh, this is like if you...
Jamia!
Okay, it's based off of a popular drink. And it's basically saying, like, you in my business.
Okay. Oh! It's all in the Kool-Aid. Don't know the flavor.
Period.
See?
All up in the Kool-Aid.
Business.
They should have put an up in there because that's exactly what it is. You all up in my Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor.
And
what's the flavor?
Anyway, again,
I'll tell you. This one. Super, super easy. Aria says, why?
Oh, because I said so.
Because I said so. It was
okay.
BISS, sorry.
Okay, but truth be told, I say that, but then I always check myself and actually apologize to her because I hated when my parents would be like, because I said so.
You're such a good mom.
No, because that's not a way to explain something to somebody because I said so.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, you can't do this because XYZ. For instance, I won't put that on the podcast, but there's a place that my daughter is not allowed to go.
Yeah.
Because of another person. And I'd be like, no, you can't go over there because I don't like him and I don't trust him.
There you go.
So you're not allowed to go over there unless that person's not there.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
That makes sense.
And that's it. So
we got to start breaking these little generational curses that we
be trying
having,
with all this parenting. It's just, parenting's hard.
It is. Because honestly, like growing up, we didn't have room to ask questions, like to talk back or ask questions like that. It was very 100%. Much like, if I would have said something like, my parents told me to do something and I'm like, why? I would have been knocked into next Tuesday. Like, would have been a whole other week before I saw the rest of my family. Like, I would never dare. No. And even now, I still don't like. And like, my parents are like, I think they just like respect and honor that we're all adults now and that we're like, we have our own lives, we're independent and stuff like that. So it never has to get to that point. Like, I don't ever like disagree or argue with my mom or anything like that, or my dad for that matter. But it's just like, you know, it'd be little
up,
stuff.
Though, you weren't allowed to. I think that's also, I know we talk about this often too, but I think that's also, while it is a generational thing, I think it's also cultural, and I think it's also really deeply rooted in like religion.
Oh yeah, right? For sure.
Because you're taught not to ever question those things. They just are, and that's not how I get down. I want to know how it works. I want to understand, and that I think literally questioning things is what even led me to like my whole deconstruction and reconstruction of faith. And then I'm also really, I think even going through that is really what made me and my husband decide like when it comes to our kids, when the answer is no, or even if it's yes, explaining the no and explaining the yes, because that was never done for us. And Brandon's white.
Yep.
And that was still never done for him. As if his mom said no, it was just because I said so.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that we definitely try not to do. Like, not that, you know, and that's not to say that our parents didn't do the best they could.
Yeah.
And we're great and we're so grateful for them. But you do try to, when you know better, you do try to do better. And that's what we definitely try to do, like, as we parent our kids.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the things that we didn't like or how things made us feel and make sure that we're trying to do that. And I think every day you're always wondering as a parent, like, am I messing my kid up?
For sure. 1,000%.
Every day. And I'm sure, like, truth be told, I'm sure we are.
Yeah.
But just not in the same ways that we were messed up. So hopefully, like, eventually, as, like, generations go down and down and down, that, you know, it's less and less trauma that we inflict on our bloodlines than, you know, than the generation before is always the goal.
Like, have you seen that meme where it's like, it says, like, shake what your mama gave you, and then you put up your therapy bill? Shaking that. It's like,
no,
same.
really.
But, like, like, no, same. Love you, Mom. Just
I know,
kidding.
love you, Mom.
Totally kidding.
Yes. No, I mean, I'm not kidding, but love you. But I know my mom was
so
an
much.
incredible single mother, powerful, super strong, like, amazing, and I wouldn't be here today without her. But again, you're like, even as I know that I'm doing the best that I can with the information that I have. Yeah. And so they did the best that they can with the information that they had for that period of time. Yeah. And things that are normal then aren't normal now.
Yeah. And I think that's that period of time is also a really big part of that.
Oh, 100%.
Like, times are so much different from even when I was a kid, from when they were kids, and so on and so forth. So there's so many different things that you had to do just to survive, different than, like, now than it was back then. So, like, I get it, and I say this a lot, but, like, it wasn't until this past, like, year that I really saw my parents as, like, humans, like, people who had to figure it out.
It's a game changer once you did it. Like, I think that doesn't really hit you until you're an adult. Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, like, they legit were doing the best that they could. The best that they could. My mom had 4 kids. My parents had 4 kids by the time she was my age. Oh, that's crazy. I could never. The amount of bridges I'd be hopping over, because couldn't be me personally. I could or jumping out of windows.
Oh, 1,000%.
Wait, is that too soon? Because there was a current event. I forgot about that.
Oh,
but yeah,
scratch that. But you know, like, it couldn't be me. But, like, I'm not a parent yet. And I hope to be one day. And it's so funny because, like, people tell me, like, if you don't have to, then don't, because it's a lot. It does change your entire life. So I get that. But there are certain things, like, I would take from my parents and certain things I would leave.
Right, like 100%. But I think that comes with a lot of other areas of life too. And I think this, like, being in this era, I feel like we've given ourselves, like, some self-permission to do that with everything. Because it isn't all or nothing. Even, again, I know I keep bringing it up, but with religion, like, let's say you visit a church and the pastor says something that you're like, I don't know about that. But then it says something that's like, yep, that tracks. Yeah. Like, that's okay. Yeah. You know, it's like that whole, like, yes and, or the no and. Yes and no and. Like, there's all of those things that are such nuance. And I think as adults now in this generation, we understand duality in a way that was not understood in the past, or not allowed to be understood. I mean, for instance, like, talking about generations, the word pregnant was a bad word when my mom was growing up. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I was like, pregnant? What? Yeah. I'm over here trying to tell Aria, this is your vagina. Yeah. This is your vulva. Like, this is a clitoris. Yeah. Like, trying to, like, give her the names of these pieces, like, what is the word, anatomical? Yeah,
anatomically correct
names of, like, parts of her body. Yeah. Meanwhile, my mom wasn't even allowed to say pregnant without getting in trouble.
Your toot.
Yeah. See, they're like, oh, there was child. They have procreated.
Prego.
They're preggers.
Alex is
I don't even know if preggers was probably like.
That's a cousin. That's cousin cuss word.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a cousin cuss word. We couldn't say dang or darn or nothing. They all cousins.
But I don't know. But I'm sure we'll get into this more, and we're gonna follow us as we continue to have the conversation on our social media. And we would love to ask you. We have an Arter Ask.
Yeah. So Arter Ask, we want to be able to take some gems from the episodes, things that you appreciated, you thought about, you talked about. And one of the things I want to know is, what are the things that you would take from your parents' style of parenting and how they parented you, if they parented you, and the things that you would probably leave behind.
It's gonna be a no for me.
Gonna be a no for me. So what would you put on your list? I would love to know that. Hashtag Arter Ask.
Yes. Well, guys, until we chit chat again.
Until we meet again. Bye.
Wait, not bye. Also, shout out to Alyssa with Go Peak Productions and Aaron Daniels Music, who produces this podcast, and Go Peak Productions that produces the video portion and content of this podcast. We are so grateful and appreciative. It is a Black-owned business for Aaron Daniels Music, and it is a woman-owned business for Go Peak Productions. And we'll make sure that all their information is always in the show notes. Make sure you go like, follow, subscribe, all of those things. It's been super, super real.
Shout out to you, Alyssa.
I know. Alyssa's right here. You guys can't see Alyssa, but she's here.
She's here in spirit.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Arter, the podcast. This podcast, again, is for women who are relentless and insatiable in their pursuit of more. We hope you found today's episode informative and inspiring and moving you past that inspiration to action and results. Remember to visit our website for show notes, additional resources, and to connect with other members of our community. Don't forget to follow us on social media at the.arter for updates and exclusive content. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to rate, review, and share with a friend. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode. Until then, stay relentless and keep striving for more. This is Alex Reed and Jamia Daniels signing off. We'll see you next time.